Baba says that I do not come to perform some magic or show my power. I come to teach you, and my power is my study. I give you the teachings and you study. There is no place for occult power, or there is no place for magic mantra in this path. Now, why is Baba clarifying this? Because in Bhakti we have a programming that when God comes, He'll give me some magical power, some magical mantra, some occult power, or if God comes, He will demonstrate His strength in some way, and that is the sign of God. But is it so? And I remember, there was one Mata, and she told me that how do I have faith that this is God? So I said, you tell me, how will you have faith this is God? What is your condition? What is it that you have in your buddhi that if this happens, then I'll believe this is God? So then she said, okay, so there was a wind chime hanging. So she said, if this wind chime just falls and then it stops midair, then I will believe that, it is God who can do it. So I said, okay, so wait for it. So I said, okay, you've said it to Baba, so you wait for it. And then while she was leaving, she told me, if I have some sakshatkar also, I'll believe that, this is God. So I said, okay. So I said, I can't show you any magic, so whatever you are saying it to Baba, so it's between you and Baba. So then some days later, she came and she was just, she was just sitting beside me, and then she hugged me. And then after that she said, did you see the world of stars? I just saw. It was a very beautiful world. It was a golden red lit world. So I said, okay, that's the soul world. So now you have had sakshatkar? So she said, yes, yes. And she was just dancing in joy. And then she left dancing, singing. And she said, now I know this is God. Now I know this is God. And then after some days, she stopped coming to the class. And then I asked her, why did you stop coming to the class? So she said, oh, I have this work and that work. So I said, okay, but you had sakshatkar, now you know this is God, and then you're not coming. So then she said, I don't know whether I had sakshatkar or not. Maybe it was just an illusion of my mind. So I said, okay. So you see, these things, God should show some magic, or it's some occult power He should give me, some magic mantra He should give me. All this is the programming that we carry. But even if He showed you the power, even if He gave you some power, what would you do with it? With the intellect we have, we'll only misuse that power. Yes, have you heard the story of Bhasmasur? So Bhasmasur, it's a story in mythology, and then they say that he did a lot of tapasya and he said, God, give me some power. And then God was happy with him and He gave him the power that if you just place your hand over anybody, they would get burnt. Okay, so they would just burn and die. That's the boon he wanted. So then God gave him that. That's the story. So then what he did is, he ran after God himself. And he said, let me place my hand on you and then I want to burn you and then I will be God. So you see, and then there is this whole thing that, God had to trick him and then he had to, make him dance. So there was a beautiful enchantress. She emerged and she made him dance, and then while dancing he placed his hand over himself and then he died. He burnt himself with the boon he had. So this is the story we hear in Bhakti. So you understand that if somebody is an asur, yes, who is an asur? Somebody who is vicious. And what were we in this Kali Yuga before we met Baba? So it would be apt to call that state asur, right? So in that state, even if somebody gets some magic mantra or occult power, they wouldn't do any good with it. Rather, they would bring some loss to themselves with it. Because with great power comes great responsibility. But if you don't have any sense of responsibility, if you don't have the spiritual stage and you get the power, then that power is counterproductive. So Baba says, I don't come and give you any occult power, any magic mantra. I come to teach you. And you see in Gita it is written Bhagavanu Vach. So God speaks. So Baba says, that is how I am hailed. I come and I speak. And what do I speak? I give you the knowledge. That knowledge which changes you from a human to a deity. And Baba says, this is what I really give you. My teachings are my blessings, they are my power, they are my boon. Everything that you thought you would receive from God comes by way of His teachings. So, do you pay that much attention to His teachings? Yes, so today we will just revise Baba's teachings, and Baba says that in the study that Baba gives us, there are 4 subjects: Gyan, Yog, Dharana and Seva. Yes, there are 4 subjects. And Baba gives us the knowledge of all these 4 subjects. And first, Baba gives us the knowledge of truth. And what is the truth? Yes, so the truth is that God teaches. The truth is that you are a soul. And the truth is that the soul has original qualities of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss and power. And the truth is that so Baba says today that many people think that at this point itself there are some who are in Satyug, some who are in Treta Yuga, some who are in Dwapar Yuga and some who are in Kali Yuga. And depending on what? Depending on the wealth they have. So if you have a lot of wealth, you are in Satyug. And if you have less, then you are in Kali Yuga. So Baba says that's not true. I give you the knowledge of the truth that right now it is Kali Yuga and everybody is in Kali Yuga. And most people don't understand that. And people think that if you have wealth, you are in Satyug. If you don't have wealth, you are in Kali Yuga. But Baba says even for the most wealthy, disease is the same. Yes, there is disease, there is untimely death for the wealthy and the poor alike. And I was just one day, somebody sent me a list of how many rich and famous people died of malaria. just by mosquito bite. And that list had very important names and big figures in the world. So just think about, somebody is very wealthy, very rich and famous, and the mosquito doesn't differentiate. So you must teach the mosquito that you don't bite the rich and wealthy. But Baba says that that's not true. So every illness you see, whether it's the virus, it's the bacteria, it's accidents, it's anything, they are the same for everybody. And on top of it, if you have many enemies, then even if you are walking or in a very, what do you say, that protected car which is safe from attacks and all, even then they will kill you, shoot you in the middle of the road somewhere you have 10,000 bodyguards and still they can kill you. So Baba says that this is how it is in Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, everybody is in Kali Yuga. Nobody is in Satyug. And then Baba says that this is something that one needs to understand. And Baba gives us a very important point of knowledge, that what is the difference between Kali Yuga and Satyug. So the difference is the state of the soul. So when we are pure, it is Satyug. When the soul is Tamopradhan, it is Kali Yuga. And when the soul is impure, then the soul is Bhogi. And when the soul is pure, then the soul is Yogi. Yes, so what is a Bhogi and a Yogi? So you see, Baba is called the Abhokta. Why is Baba called the Abhokta? Because even when Baba is sitting in Brahma Baba's body and you feed bhog to Baba, then Baba will not take the taste of that bhog. Yes, so Baba will not take the taste or not enjoy the taste of that bhog, because Baba is a bhokta. And Baba says that when you children offer bhog with love, then I take this fragrance of that bhavna. So you are offering bhog with love, that love reaches me. I do not taste the bhog. I take the bhavna with which you cook and serve the bhog. So Baba says that is why I am a bhokta. And in Satyug we are not bhogis, we are yogis. What does that mean? So when somebody is vicious, they are a bhogi. And when somebody is viceless, they are a yogi. Now, what is the connection between vicious and bhogi? So you see, when there is vice, then you take sensual pleasure. You enjoy sensual pleasure. So you see, in Satyug also you eat food, but you don't say the food was so tasty today, because you are not relishing that taste on your tongue. Or in Satyug also you hear the music that nature is playing for you. So do you know that the trees, when it would breeze in Satyug, then the trees and the leaves will create music for you. And the water that flows in the streams will create music for you. Very natural music. But then the deity wouldn't say, how sweet is the music? Because they know the music is there and it's fine. They don't enjoy it. the in Satyug, Prakriti is happy to serve you. You are not a slave of your senses, that you enjoy the Prakriti. So you see, there's beauty all around in Satyug. But then you wouldn't go home and think about the mountains and the hills that you saw. You wouldn't think about, oh my God, my palace is so beautiful. So, because that's what you deserve. And you know that this is something that's there and I deserve it very well. So, you don't relish it. You don't enjoy sensual pleasure, whether it is, and lust and everything else, the lower kind of sensual pleasures, they of course don't have any place in Satyug. And in this world, you see, people are Bogies. And I will tell you something very interesting that I have observed. People start enjoying their sorrow and pain also. So we've become such Bogies that people, and there are terms for this. They say they are sadist, or so people have this tendency to taste everything so much that they start enjoying their pain and sorrow also. And you see, then they write songs in that pain and sorrow. And then what do you enjoy when you hear a sad song? It's the pain that you're enjoying. Yes, and then people enjoy pain and sorrow also so much that when you tell them that there's going to be a world where there'll be no pain, no sorrow, then they think life will be very boring. What to do there? Because that's the kind of Bogies we've become. So people are enjoying sensual pleasure. People are enjoying their thoughts. So you are criticizing somebody in your mind and you're enjoying that also. Yes, and you are enjoying the ego boost that you give yourselves by creating thoughts and feelings of superiority. Yes, you are creating thoughts and feelings of inferiority, of being a victim, and then you are enjoying that also. Yes, and you're relishing that I'm a victim and everybody is bad and I'm only good. So all of that thing we are doing, and it is a pretty messed up state we are in. And I remember, there was this one lady, and she said that, I don't like normal these days. Either I like sad or I like happy and excited. I don't like the normal state. So she said, when I'm on dopamine, I feel that happy and excited, and then when I'm not on dopamine, I feel that, that state of depression, and I like it like that. I don't want to feel normal. And she said it to my face. She said, you people will teach me how to be normal. I don't want to feel normal. I want to feel that surge of whether it's sadness or, and you see, these days people think that if you are not feeling any negative emotions, then you are as good as dead. Yes, and you see, positive feelings are not very, they are not loud. They are very subtle. They are like a breeze. And negative emotions, whether it is lust, anger, ego, or it is, pleasure, they all give you a high. So, and people think that a sign of being alive is you're feeling all those emotions. So that's pretty bhogi. So it's not just with the body that you are exploiting every organ of the body to derive maximum pleasure out of it, but you're even abusing the mind or abusing the buddhi. You see, over analysis, overthinking. What is all this? Abusing the buddhi. So you are abusing the buddhi so much, and over analyzing everything, and just taking that pleasure that I took out an analysis which nobody could. So all of this is bhogi. And Baba says we are, in Kaliyug we are bhogis, and in Satyug we are yogis. So in Satyug we don't need to, we are in a state of complete purity, peace, love. We don't need pleasure in the name of peace. In the name of peace also people need pleasure these days. So peace, you can't feel peace by going within. You have to go out. There has to be nature. There has to be stuff that you see. There has to be breeze that you feel on your skin, and then there is something that you have to hear with your ears, and then you feel peaceful. So that's also sensual pleasure. Sensual peace. It's not inside out, it's outside in. And then it's actually a kind of pleasure that you call peace. So you see, and people spend so much money to make you experience that peace. And there was this one lady, and she told me, I go to some meditation class somewhere, some other organization, and I said, what do they do? So she said, I feel very good there. I said, what do they do? So she said that it's a moonlit, it is conducted in moonlight, and then in that moonlight we all wear very flowing and white clothes, and then there is a full lighting setup, and then the candles are burning, and then there is soft music, and then we are dancing. So I said, that's not meditation. that's a party of a different kind. So it's a party without guilt. So I told her, that's not meditation. So I said, okay, you feel nice. I'm not asking you not to go there, but that's not meditation. That's a party without guilt. And then she later told me there's alcohol also. So you see that's how people are thinking that you experience peace or experience happiness or experience love. And if somebody loves you, doesn't matter. They have to tell you they love you, they have to show you they love you, and then they have to tingle your senses to make you feel that love. Only then you feel that you're loved. So everything is about the senses, whether it is the physical senses, whether it is the subtle senses. So Baba says this is why this is a bhogi world, and in Satyug we are yogis. And Baba says you need knowledge, because people don't understand the difference between our Satyugi state, Kaliyugi state, Tretayugi state, and then there are these ideas which are going around, and Baba gives us the knowledge of everything. And then people think that God will come and solve our troubles, and Baba gives us the knowledge that no, I teach you how to come to me. Yes, and that is the knowledge of yoga. So in bhakti we think that if you really cry loud enough, then God will listen to you and come down. Yes, that's why there's so much sound being produced. And Baba says, no, I teach you that you come to me and take power from me. But how do you come to me? Coming to me is through the pathway of silence. So Baba says, when you are in silence, you can come to me. So just like science makes many things possible, silence or the power of silence makes connection with Baba possible. And Baba says, how do you become silent? So when you just remember that you are a soul and your swadharma is silence. You have got nothing to do with the world out there, the noises of the world out there. You are a star of light and you're absolutely silent. And then you know there is a world beyond which is completely silent, and there is Baba, the ocean of peace, calling out to you, and in 1 second you can reach to the arms of your father. And Baba says, this is how you have yoga. So Baba gives us the knowledge of yoga. And Baba says, this knowledge, when you imbibe and when you have yoga with me, in silence you come to me and sit with me. Then I color you with my company and you go back to your original state, slowly, gradually. Every day 8 hours you have to be in yoga for going back to your original stage. So Baba says, this is how you have yoga. Then Baba gives us the knowledge of virtues. And you see, in the world, people tell you don't steal, don't lie, don't be lazy. Yes, so you will read many books about these things. And there's a lot of gyan about what are the virtues that you should have. Wake up early, run, jog, exercise, be disciplined, be be honest, don't speak the lies. So these are the virtues that people tell you should have. But then Baba says, no, you can't have any virtue if first you don't have the virtue of purity. Purity is the first virtue. And Baba says, what is purity? So the symbol of purity is the lotus flower. And the lotus flower, the quality of the lotus flower is detachment. And the quality of purity is detachment. And how do you achieve this state of purity where you are in the body, but you are completely detached from the pull of the senses, from the pull of the relationships around you, from the pull of the ideas around you? If you don't have purity, you will be pulled into it. Yes, somebody says, I will not complain today. But your old sanskar will pull you if you don't have that purity, which gives you the strength to stay detached from your sanskar. So Baba says, it is purity that gives you the strength of detachment from your old sanskar, from your senses, from the world around you. And if you don't have that sense of detachment, then you will inevitably be pulled by the pulls that your sanskar or your senses or the world around you has. So Baba says the first virtue is purity. And how do you become pure? Through yoga power. So Baba says the more you go to Baba and fill yourself with power, the more you become detached from the body and the old sanskars. So only when the soul is full in the original state can it be not pulled by the acquired state. Yes, so when the original is weak, the acquired is powerful. And when the original is stronger, the acquired becomes less and less powerful. So Baba says the first virtue is purity. You cannot become peaceful and not getting angry and not reacting, not complaining, not stealing. Yes, if there is greed, you will steal. But why is there so much greed? Because the things that you see with the eyes attract you. And why do they attract you? Because there is emptiness inside. And if there is no fullness inside, then you cannot stop that thing from attracting you, and your hand from going and reaching out to that. And Baba says, this is the knowledge of virtues that I give. If you don't have the knowledge of virtues, or the knowledge of yoga, or the knowledge of truth, then everybody is, remembering God, but then it's not working. Everybody is trying to be good, but then it's not working. Everybody is, every day everybody is thinking that I want to be good today, but at the end of the day they are doing 10,000 things that are not so good. Why? Because you need knowledge for all of these. And then Baba says, seva. Seva, what do you need for seva? So the foundation is for seva is a contented state. And you can only give that which you are an embodiment of. You cannot give that which you are yourself seeking. So Baba says, the true seva is give knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power to the world. But how can you give it? Only when you have that in you. And I remember there was one sister and she was planning to do her PhD. And I asked her, what is the topic you're doing PhD in? So she said, peace and conflict resolution. So I said, okay, so are you peaceful? So she said, no. I said, can you resolve your own conflicts? So she said, no. So then I said, what makes you think you can do a PhD in peace and conflict resolution? So she said, but that's the subject. So I said, that's the subject, but if you can't do it for yourself, how can you do it for others? So she said, but how are these two things related? So I said, are they not related? So you see that, people are doing all these things and they don't even know that you cannot solve anybody's problem if you are not in a solution stage. If you've not solved your inner and outer problems, how can you solve others' problems? So Baba says that seva is to be done with dharana. If you don't have peace within, you cannot do the seva of making the world a peaceful and happier place. So Baba teaches us this thing that, and Baba teaches us something very important that, when it comes to peace, happiness, love, at least we understand that our vibrations matter. But when it comes to knowledge, sometimes we think that knowledge is spoken through the mouth, so I can just give knowledge to everybody. But Baba says, no. If you are not an embodiment of the knowledge that you are giving, then the other person will also just speak it and tell others, but they will also not imbibe it. Because that personality, that knowledge creates, that vibration that a knowledgeful soul has, that has to hit the person you're giving knowledge. So Baba says, this is very important to understand, and if you don't have the knowledge of, and people think that, seva means making somebody's body comfortable by relieving their hunger, their thirst, or giving them warm clothes, or, but Baba says, no, the soul is the master of the body, and until and unless the soul is full, the body, and you see, somebody is hungry and somebody has their stomach full, but rarely is there any difference in the state of their minds. They are both peaceless. So what is the point? So Baba says, you need to do seva for the hungry and those who have too much, both. And both of them you have to serve with peace and love and happiness, and that's what the soul needs. So Baba gives us the knowledge, and that knowledge is what's very important. And Baba says, you need to change from a bhogi to a yogi by having yoga power, by having the power of purity. And Baba says, my greatest gift is the knowledge that I give you. Okay, Om Shanti.